Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff today. I'm reviewing the song. I don't have the thing up like I normally do. "Sin" by Nine Inch Nails. This is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that come from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way this series works is I'll do reaction videos for two, maybe three songs off of each album. Then eventually I'll go and listen to the rest of the album on my own, and I'll come back and let you know what I thought about it. So I've already done one song from this album, which was uh, uh, Something I Can Never Have, which I thought was very well put together. It was a very well composed song. It just wasn't quite for me, and so kind of going into this one hoping for another really well made song, but one that's more my taste. And so the reason I did Something I Can Never Have first, and then now Sin, and not some of the other songs like Head Like a Hole or Terrible Lie, is because I've actually heard those songs before. So I'm not coming in Nine Inch Nails like brand new. I've heard a lot of their radio singles. I used to listen to rock radio a lot, back in the 90s and 2000s, and so they were definitely, some of their singles were definitely played on rock radio. So I've heard, again, their singles, but that's about it. And so I chose a couple songs here that I knew I had never heard before. So with that, I say we jump right in. Again, this is Sin, Nine Inch Nails. Let's do it. Yeah, I really like that. And I have a few things I want to say before I get into like the review proper. One, I think I like that because that's more of I think what I kind of expect from Nine Inch Nails, right? Again, just heard their radio singles for the most part. Had like a whole terrible lie, down in it, closer. Um, Every day is exactly the same. I want to say that was them as well. So yeah, again, heard their radio singles, and their singles are a little bit more fast paced, energetic, kind of like this song was, right? Not so much like something that I can never have. Um, which was a lot more slow and brooding and just like angsty, not in a bad way, but just as far as just what I enjoy listening to, as when it comes to Nine Inch Nails, I enjoy listening to things that are kind of more in this vein. So that was one thing I wanted to mention. Second thing, I think the fact that I had heard Nine Inch Nails previously, before I had ever heard Depeche Mode, helped me like Depeche Mode because I like Nine Inch Nails and I like songs like this from Nine Inch Nails that had that industrial, electronic techno feel to it while being dark and fast paced. And that's kind of what I get from Depeche Mode as well. Again, electronic, industrial, but more poppy. Whereas this to me is like more violent and darker Depeche Mode. And Depeche Mode's already kind of dark on their own, right? But I think that's why I like Depeche Mode because I already liked Nine Inch Nails, and then going back and listening to Depeche Mode, it was like, okay, this is super easy to kind of like get into. And so again, I think if you like Depeche Mode and you're wanting to get into more like a heavier industrial rock, I think that's a very clear pipeline. And then vice versa, if you like Nine Inch Nails and you're looking for something a little bit more pop oriented while still maintaining that kind of darkness to it, I think you go towards Depeche Mode. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. But let's go ahead and review the song like we always do, of course, starting with the lyrics. So let's see. I do want to read this about section here. It says Sin, also known as Halo 4, is like the game, or is the third single from the album Pretty Hate Machine, released in October 1990. The song peaked at number 35 on the UK singles charts. I guess this was a single too. I guess it didn't get too much play here in America because I don't remember hearing it on the radio, if I'm being totally honest. The music video of Sin was directed by Brett Turnbull, and it features full frontal male and female nudity. Whoa! As a consequence of that, it was banned from MTV and most other major outlets. That makes sense. Even though Nine Inch Nails posted the 2:11 version of the video on Vimeo, the full version of the video surfaced only recently on YouTube. And as you can see, it is age restricted. There would be a link here otherwise. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at those lyrics. Let's see. You give me the reason, you give me control. I give you my purity you stole. Did you think I wouldn't recognize this compromise? Am I just too stupid to realize? Stale incense, old sweat, and lies, lies, lies. Yeah, not too sure, but obviously a very dark undertone to this song. You give me the reason, you give me control. I gave you my purity you stole. Did you think I wouldn't recognize this compromise? Am I just too stupid to realize? Stale incense, old sweat, and lies, lies, lies. I feel like this is sort of upon like second reading. I'm like, I wonder if this is sort of an outcry or a condemnation of religion, right? I mean, the song is called Sin as well, and so that's just kind of what I'm getting from it right away. It comes down to this: your kiss, your fist, and your strain. It gets under my skin within. Take in the extent of my sin. You give me the anger, you give me the nerve. Carry out my sentence while I get what I deserve. And so again, this also makes me think of religion. Obviously carrying out a sentence reminds you of like prison or what have you. But again, with the song name of Sin, it's like I've committed it. In at least like Catholicism, which was how I was raised. You commit a sin, you have some sort of like you have to repent. Essentially, you have some sort of punishment for that, right? And so again, this is why I'm thinking it might be something about religion. And then even here, look, I'm just an effigy to be disgraced. That to me has conjures up religious undertones as well. To be defaced, your need for me has been replaced. And if I can't have everything, well, then just give me a taste. What a great line. It comes down to this: your kiss, your fist, and your strain. It gets under my skin within. Take in the extent of my sin. You give me the reason. You give me control. I gave you my purity, and my purity you stole. Did you think I wouldn't recognize this compromise? Am I just too stupid to realize? Stale incense, old sweat, and lies, lies, lies. It comes down to this, your kiss, your fist, and your strain. It gets under my skin within, take in, well, my sin. It comes down to this, your kiss, your fist, and your strain. It gets under my skin within, take in the extent of my sin. I feel like on an even darker level, it could also be about like a sexual assault or something like that, right? Because he talks about stealing purity, etc., like that kind of thing, and you kind of get that vibe throughout. But again, for me, the way just reading it from top to bottom, I'm like, to me, it conjures up a lot of religious iconography, and so I wonder if it's again kind of a condemnation of organized religion, or maybe at least the religion that he was sort of raised into. I feel like he could go multiple ways, but I think it was really well written. Some great lines in there. I'm going to give it 2 big thumbs up for lyricism. As far as the instrumentation and vocals go, I love the industrial sounds here, like the mechanics, like what sounds like a wrench hitting something, that kind of thing. I love that industrial sound, especially when it's in like a fast-paced, sort of dark song. Again, Depeche Mode does this really well. Obviously, Nine Inch Nails does this really well as well. And so, yeah, I love that industrial sound to it. It's fast-paced, it's energetic, all the different samplings going on here. I think just make for a very energetic and fast, fun song. And I say fun, it's still a very dark song underneath, right? But you can almost like, I see this playing in like the club that where Blade is like, cutting down vampires, that kind of thing, but I think this really works for me in that regard. And again, I actually really like the way that I assume it is his name is Trent Reznor. I'll say his name is escaping me. I assume this is Trent Reznor on vocals. I actually really like the way he sounds. He has that sort of dark edge to his voice that I think is perfect for what he's sort of trying to get across here in the song. And so, with that said, instrumentally and vocally, that gets 2 big thumbs up from me as well. And hey, I think this is one of the better Nine Inch Nails songs that I've heard. Again, I've heard a lot of their singles. Somehow this one flew under my radar. And I like a lot of their singles, and I like their sort of faster paced songs like this one. And so I think this hits the playlist. I was actually just listening to Down In It a few minutes ago before recording. So, that gets a decent amount of play on my playlist. I think this one will get a decent amount of play time as well. So for that, I'm going to give it 2 big thumbs up for replay value. Can't wait to hear it again. It was a great song. So, hey, thanks so much for watching. That's going to be it for the video. Hope you're enjoying this series. I really am. There are some times where, as part of this series, I get to discover artists that I had never really listened to before. And then there's times like this where I get to sort of revisit an artist where I've only heard a few of their songs, before starting the channel, and even still sometimes, I had never really had any sort of reason or maybe felt ever the need to dive into artist discography, right? I was content with just hearing radio singles, and that was it. And so this has been really nice and refreshing to kind of go back to artists that I already know and kind of hear some things from them that I just never took the time to listen to. So yeah, this is very nice. Hey, if you enjoyed the music as much as I did, go support the artists, go listen to their music wherever you can. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, if you liked the video, then consider doing all the normal stuff you do on YouTube for all of your other favorite YouTube channels. Like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and then of course leave your comments, your requests in that comment section, because that's still how I get the majority of my videos, just through y'all's requests. And so leave those there. You can even check the description to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.